Good, huh, Jake? Had some pretty good reads and calls this morning. What happened? Oh, so I took the VWAP bounce too, as you guys know. Scaled out as it began to bounce, and then put my orders at break even. If we got the bigger bounce, didn't happen, stop me out at the remainder. Yeah, well, we'll be working on that management.
CME.
Yeah, it bounced slightly.
Traded for crypto futures.
It was slight though, that's the problem.
Crypto future options trading to start early 2026.
It was slight. All right, we got to be prepared for that if it doesn't hold. Sometimes we'll get this reaction bounce and then. So we got to be prepared for that. I call it the anemic bounce. Buyers step in, sellers overwhelming them, and we go down lower. Confirmation traders hate it. The anemic bounce is the kryptonite of the confirmation trader. That's why we just react to the structure, logger. No bias, no opinion. We just react to the levels we're given. Now we have a bit of a busy area, congestion area right here. Not yet. Not yet. So we do have a bit of a return to value taking place and some structure being built down here. Frank suggested I write a book. You know, people have always said, man, Chris, you should write a book. I said, you know, that's a great idea. I should. How many people have said they're going to write a book but never write a book? It's quite the undertaking. Well, Frank, you know, books on our shelves are what help show us other people that we're smart, right? I have these really nice books, hardcover books on my coffee table about all type of, you know, history and World War II and, you know, because so people think I'm a historian. Yeah, that was nice, David. I took that one too. I got it in a little higher. I got it at this LVN right here at 50. Held long, closed about 70. So it's about a 15 point long. This is NQ. You can always see my my symbol when I'm trading right down here at the bottom. It's faint, but it's right here. Okay, this is the middle. Back to diddling in the middle. You and the rest of retail will position themselves right here at 60. It's not where you want to be. I mean, if the point of control holds, all right, but that's like a C level at best, right here. C level at best. Good work. There you go. Oh, actually, you got a monthly upper band right there too, so that's probably helping the case. I mean, maybe a bit more of a B setup. Is it 24.5? I don't think it is. Maybe it is.
White House Press Secretary Levitt.
Yeah, it's not a textbook, guys.
Look across the board at layups.
It's an enjoyable read. I'm not going to mention names, but there are a couple of trading books that are like drier than a. You can't sit down and read them. All right, Logger, that trade worked out for you nice. That was point of control, right? So if point of control holds, we'll go to the recent side of value, and that worked. Also a bit of a monthly upper band and a previous extension level. So, you know, not terrible. That's right, Tony. Tony knew who I was talking about. And I have all those books, the hardcover. They're very nice books.
Johnson just repeats that there is nothing to negotiate in the stopgap hill.
Yes, back at lows here, kind of an inverted VWAP Bounce short. What are we thinking? Didn't quite get to VWAP. But it's not always going to get to VWAP. It's the thing. Does ES hold there? Do have a distribution forming here. I have an LVN, VWAP, value area high in the profile. Looking short. Short at 73 3/4, small size, room to add. Hopefully it doesn't rip against me. Nice. There we go. Yes, sir. That was nice. See if we can get lower now. Holding the runner. Short at 74 3/4. Up 20 points here. Almost 30 points. 30 points. Covered. Flat. Nice trade again. We're nailing it today. Yep. Our VWAP was holding right there.
That concludes comments from Lemon. What's these?
Back to value area low or lower band on the RTH2. We'll keep watching. That got bought up, which I probably didn't expect, but I'm glad I took profits down there where I did. All right, we're back at this monthly upper band level. There's 64. Don't even start with me, midnight open. Doesn't even exist. Nothing opens at midnight. Isn't that an ICT thing? Midnight open. Yeah, why is it called the opening? What's opening? All right, let's see what happens next. Oh, the groceries. Makes sense. The ES opens at midnight here in Germany. No, the it's been open, Roman. ES does I don't think the ES follows Germany time. I don't think it does. I didn't realize US equities followed German time zones. I'm just teasing Roman. We can all at least agree that it's not the open of anything. It's just a time frame. It's just an anchor that we're using or anybody's using. Nothing's opening at 12 p.m. US stocks open at 9:30 a.m. New York time. All right, still kind of chopping around point of control here, guys, right? We got a value area. Well, I mean, so we can go down the rabbit hole of every strategy. Why don't we just add some Fibonacci? We'll add some Gann forks and EMAs, and we'll have everything. That way we don't miss anything.
In the stock industry for decades.
And the RSI and the MACD and the awesome oscillator. We're just having fun, Frank. We're just having a little laugh while we chop around point of control here, waiting for something, some new information.
Nasdaq up 0.3%, Dow Jones down 0.2%, S&P 500 flat. I think the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index hitting record high, last up 1.7%.
I have no doubt that other traders look at my chart and go, what the hell is even going on here? How do you even see anything with all of this? But like, everything has a purpose here for me. It'd be the same as a non-pilot sitting down at the cockpit of an airplane, right? That probably looks very overwhelming. What the hell do all these dials and gauges do? But to the pilot, everything has a purpose, right? Similar concept. Yes, Allie, just buy on green, sell on red. That's what it's going to be called. Buy green, sell red. You never have to do anything. That's right, Frank. It's actually 3 indicators, okay? It's actually 3, and they're just variations on the different, and I call them my auction tools, okay?
What else is pressing to 11? Just speak to reporters.
All right, here we are at ETH VWAP. We taking this one? Looks like sellers are trying to slap it. But buyers are also not letting up easily. I'm going to take it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that was awesome. Me and my 15 indicators printing over here. 20 points. Right back to point of control. So that was a short. I mean, that was our first. That was a technical VWAP bounce. It took a long time to get there. But it happened, and there was a strong rejection. Good 20-point rejection there. Beauty. 30-point rejection. Hell of a VWAP bounce short. There you go, Tony. Good job. Get 100 from that. I'd give you a handshake if I could. I'll give you a virtual handshake, like the British baking show. For all my UK friends. We're big fans. Yep.
Kazakhstan shipped 180k tons of oil to Germany in September.
Yeah, gap fill reversal, maybe. I don't know. We'll just trade the structure. Right now we've built a distribution which we've been trading in since
Reminder at 10:30 AB time.
9:40.
That's Logan.
So for the last 40 minutes,
no indication whether
we've been in a distribution.
Q&A. And then also at the bottom of the hour, 50 gas change BCF forecasting for a build of 66 BCF compared to prior.
Also, Frank, I'm a lot younger. Thank you very much. This is unabridged filtering right here. Let's see what we get next. Jap not holding anything right now. No, not holding shorts. Definitely not holding shorts. Could be, you know, this has been the short spot, but we keep testing it, man. Sooner or later, this is going to break. So if you are going to take it, be prepared to bail. It's still a valid short. Now, this is a fade value area extreme on the higher time frame, the composite here, and it's also a VWAP scalp. I'm prepared to bail. Took it short at 83. Yeah. It holds until it doesn't. I got to see us accept above 90 before I go long.
5 minutes ago to give it EIA natural gas change forecast is for build of 64 BCF. I was a build of 75 BCF.
I'd be wary of the VWAP, above VWAP trap. Short at 85 3/4. It's about almost 5 points here, 10 points.
Also remind us what we're expected to hear from the Fed slogan.
Nice. 10 points, 40 ticks. Like I said, it's a short until it proves otherwise. It could still break. This is just still reacting. You know, they need to load up some juice if they're going to break through this level. So we'll see. If it does break, it can really run. I feel like it could squeeze. So, which makes the short that much more nerve-wracking, right? Because if we do break and accept above 90, that thing can shoot. So be prepared to bail if you are taking shorts here. Yeah, CVD looks like there's a lot of buyers, but price really isn't aggressively going with it quite yet. So I have the delta as making a high. Not a high, but you know, from where it was here. Whereas price is still pretty close. Back short again at 80 and a quarter. 5 points.
1 minute ago now to get the EIA natural gas change data.
Got natural gas info coming out here shortly.
Also, surely expected to hear from Earth Logan. Again, no indication whether text or Q&A is expected.
Stopped out at break even.
Ten seconds. Build 50.
All right, we have an IB.
BCF expected.
There's 1030.
BCF, so smaller than expected build. So back to the report did see some strengthening in natural gas. Again, the smaller than expected build. Natural gas, which is extended gains up 1.6% of the report.
Watching. Struggling here, huh?
We have posted out the weekly natural gas.
Here we go. Come on. Squish it. Smoosh it. Still short. All right. Beauty, beauty, beauty. All right, I'm going to tap out of this account, and I'm going to move over to my funded next. So pretty good. About 2K in profits across 2 accounts so far. Thank you, DPS. Just trading the structure, guys. Just trading the structure. When we do this kind of stuff, I do really well. Right? Half of the key, I took this short, took some bounces down here on key levels, but the rest of it has been fade value or extremes in this distribution. We'll definitely be working on that, Carlos, for sure. Sometimes what helps is higher time frame candles, like the 5-minute. So I have the 2-minute up here for streaming purposes, but I'm actually executing on the 5-minute on my Project X. And all the little wiggles throw me off. The levels are the levels, and I need perspective of rotations and rhythm, and that doesn't come at the low time frames. It comes in the higher time frames.
Bit trading
At least 5 minutes.
Time-related risks, even as you enter trade permanent swings.
Back down it goes. Nice, Gareth. Good work. Let's do a little trader check-in. I do not use TradingView CVD. I use NinjaTrader and Trade of 8 for CVD. Still waiting on this indicator to be launched with the toolkit. It's coming, guys. I know I've been saying that. We're trying to add everything and make it incredible, and it's going to be completely included in the toolkit. It's going to be awesome. Just sit tight. Be patient if you can. The indicator is going to be different. It's going to help spot and keep you on the better side of trades. It's not real delta, but it will be effective and it will be useful. But I don't want to sell the pretense that it's real delta because it's not. It's going to be the best we can do on TradingView, but it's going to have a whole bunch of other things in it as well to make it really powerful.
Both sides of the Fed's mandate. Set up with just reminded Johnson saying that the House is coming back next week. Senate needs to stay this weekend and vote. Logan says recent rate cut was an insurance against more rapid, non-linear decline in the labor market. Logan says demand remains pretty resilient. Logan says the labor market looks fairly balanced and only gradually slowing. Logan has a policy to use it more than one, which is appropriate.
Yeah, yes, Madonna was nice. Good work, guys. Let's do a little trader check-in. How's everybody doing? I saw a couple things here. Locked out as target 398. Nice. Terrible heavy size. Early screwed me up bad. That was that VWAP Bounce. Swan locked out. Nice, Norm. Up 800, Ray. Good job. Tony's green. Sunny's down. 69.50. Rough day. All right, we'll get there. David's up 900. Excellent. Carla's still green. Been up and down today. Josh, small green. Toolkit is the bomb. Surely is. Small green by JM. Rory down 80 so far. Small, all red. Nice logger. Excellent. Lock yourself out. Chuck's up 450. All right, Wiley. Stay focused. Nice, Shelly. We've had some good trades. Can't wait, Bruce. Nice. Les?
Logan says we're very close.
Atlas up to 526. Excellent. Sorry, Roman. Only the VWAP Wave System Toolkit is only available on TradingView currently. Maybe one day we'll do NinjaTrader, but for right now, TradingView only. All right, small red. It's early. Market's only been open for a little over an hour. So we do have a bit of a rising wedge, which is, you know, I'm not a big pattern trader, but it is a pattern I do pay close attention to. Because as we hit into a level, this is, you know, typically a level I anticipate to be broken.
Logan says inflation is on its way back to 2%, but there are risks.
Love it when I have a lower stress trading day. Just getting good reads, good market conditions for me. Just really makes it nice. All right, let's see what we get. What's next? Back up to this short level. Nice. Short again. Grab that one.
Says tariffs have contributed to high inflation.
Quick.
Goods inflation.
Quick 5 points. Small. Because it is a rising wedge. I anticipate them to keep buying up these small dips. Be right back.
Logan adds that overall tariff effects on inflation have been more moderate than had anticipated.
The RTH VWAP could not be any flatter. Gold tanking, huh? Where does it run in gold, man? Since August. You can get gold 4,000. Crazy.
Logan says, even if tariffs have one-time effect, the longer it takes, the uncertainty continues to hide the risk of hide the risk to inflation expectations. And then we need to guard against the risk that inflation expectations could rise. Seeing the Canadian dollar weaken to the lowest since May 19th. Yeah, that's a Canadian dollar weakening to the lowest since May 19th against the US dollar.
You love to be short gold, don't you, JP?
Colonial is set to shut the largest US fuel pipeline on Thursday.
I got some really nice WAP reviews from Mr. Gareth and Ali. I want to thank you for those. There's no nicer thing to say thanks than to leave a nice review. So I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. All right, so, we're going to be coming back. We broke point of control, so I suspect we're going to go to the other side of value here, down to 39. Does that hold? Do we get some excess price lower, or is this just a higher time frame bounce and a bigger downtrend? I don't know which is going to be. I'm going to watch, and I'm going to react. I'm going to trade if this, then that. How I typically approach it is I'm going to assume we're going to stay in value. That's one of our principles. And if we get a contextual shift, then we'll change our setups. Sellers really stepping in here, so if you're going long, I would watch. I would wait a little bit here. Heavy sellers. Stand by. Heavy, heavy, heavy. All the longs getting stopped out here. Dang. Took a little nip of a long there. Already closed out. Just anticipating some buyers stepping in. We could go lower. We can go right back to point of control. I'll react accordingly. Nice, David.
From this says
At 82. Wow, you held all the way. We call that the coast to coast, David. Coast to coast trade, one side of value to the other.
Logan said, we remain very data and fact-based, but focused to help ensure stable conditions over time.
So, Shelly, no. I think the climax anchored VWAPs can give you some insight to trade setup areas. So that was kind of like the VWAP from the sellers at that capitulation at the bottom there. I think there's cases where it doesn't make sense to trade them, but I think they're perfectly valid trade levels, especially when combined. Diddle in the middle would be more the point of control. But when we have an anchor VWAP attached to an extreme, like a capitulation, the VWAP so much isn't a diddle in the middle. All right, back down we go. Flush out everybody who just bought. Short at 51. Took some off already. Flat. All right, so when we have a capitulation candle like this, we have a VWAP with bands, deviations from it. Right, so we would assume this is kind of like the last line of defense for everybody who bought since the low here to defend. And if we break and start trading underneath it, that means sellers have taken over and all these buyers are underwater. I mean, that's also contextual, but the VWAP helps give me more of a dynamic level that makes sense based on average volume, not so much just structure of price. Sure looks like it wants to go lower. Just being patient. Delta makes it feel like we're going lower, but really we haven't overcome this level yet, so it's not a buy or a sell to me yet. I gotta wait. I mean, if anything, it's probably a short, but I wouldn't be surprised if they squeeze the shorts again before they bring it lower. Stuff happens all the time.
According to a statement from Global Pipeline, it expects to restart by noon. Ed Logan says my forecast is a bit slower normalization on policy path. Ed Logan says my forecast is for unemployment to rise a little bit, but not too far. Ed Logan says we're seeing a drop in demand of the labour market with uncertainty on tariff policies. Logan says, on the flip side, we're seeing a lot of investment in AI data centers and counterbalancing reduction in demand in other parts of the economy.
Feels lower. Who's going to take the Madonna? I don't know. We might not even get there, it feels like.
According to a blog here, Google says Google Pixel phones added to department.
Went long at 26 3/4. See if we can get a little. The Delta was not conducive to. Wow, lots of buyers stepped in there. That was crazy. Oh, and then there's that. Flat. Seems as if there's some manipulation going on down here. Long again. Getting ready to stop out if it goes lower. Man, all those buyers stepped in. That's crazy. Somebody bought, maybe that was a low, short covering. Weird delta. Very weird. So 14 is IB low. $11 o'clock. There's certainly a battle here. There's the IB.
US is to sell $58 billion 3-year notes on October 7th to settle on October 15th. US is to sell $22 billion in reopened 30-year bonds on October 9th, settle on October 15th. And the US is to sell $39 billion in reopened 10-year notes on October 8th, settle on October 15th.
Boom.
US is to also sell $75 billion of 6-month bills on October 6th.
Ba-boom. $10 points, 15 points. Madonna strikes again. I had a limit order down there. I got filled nicely. I had a limit order right at 14. And then I sized up. Accutating. Madonna accutating. All right. Well, we got group coaching today, guys. 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is going to be a fundamentals class. All right. If you never leave the fundamentals, you don't have to return to them. So we'll be going over the core setups. We'll be going over the principles of the system. Always a good refresher for everybody. And if you're new, this is a great opportunity to get a little more dialed in. The Madonna trade is the first touch of the initial balance, high or low. Okay, we anticipate a rejection, at least an initial rejection. So we buy at the low, we sell at the high, and this was about 15 points. We call it the Madonna trade because the initial balance was touched for the very first time. See you, Bruce. Yes, the class will be recorded. Every class is recorded for you guys. You could go through all the records as well. The archives.
Global inflation is a mixed picture with headline inflation higher in the UK, India, Australia, core inflation high in the US. Fed appropriately lowered rates that gives upside risk to inflation and must closely watch incoming data.
All right, now 25,000 is going to be an interesting level. I don't know if it would hold to the tick because we have some interesting levels about 10 points below it.
Many companies in the US.
So essentially between, I would say 89 and 25,000 would be an interesting place to size into a long. The problem we have with it is market rhythm, right? The market rhythm has this, right? That would be very early in the downward rotation should we follow something like that. So something to be aware of. Rhythm is not in our favor here. It's a little early to be long, but we'll definitely look for a scalp. Here we go. 25,000 being approached. Here we are. There's the touch. 25,000 long, 2.5. Closed. Wait for the next one. There we go. Okay, long, 96.5. Room to add. Nice. Good scalps there. Beautiful. Yeah, you're not guaranteed to get down to 88, unfortunately. We did touch that LVN to the tick, 93 3/4. And then we got weekly upper band at 990. Back to IB. Good long spot. Could have caught 15, 20 points there easily. My monthly VWAP is at 49.5. 949.5.
The Nasdaq down.
Reclaim of IB. It's trying, or is this a back test? Everybody knows. Hey, guess what, guys? Guess what? Guess what I just got? Guess what I just got? No. There will be more giveaways. But that's not it. I just got this. So Apex still pays out. So for those of you that know, this originally got denied. I had to trade another 8 days, of which I just did 50 bucks a day in profit. I actually just did 7 days of 50 bucks a day in profit. And then I flipped the other day and it got approved. All right. That still leaves me with like 2,600 bucks in that. So I still have a nice buffer in that account. Yeah, right. My review is you guys rejected my payout for a stupid ass rule that nobody else has. And the only reason I'm doing this is to prove a point. To whom? I don't know. But whatever. Here we are. That was a nice long off this strange red box that somebody drew on my screen. Who would have thought that we would bounce 40 points off of it? It's almost like it's an A+ setup or something. We have, it was multiple things. It was a composite LVN. It was a previous session LVN. It was the weekly upper band. All right. That alone makes those three things make it A+ setup. Get some. The account rule that I broke is that one of my trades risked more than 30% of my
EU trade commission
profits.
There's a EU sent a letter this week to the US
or drawdown
counterparts on suggestions of how to resolve issues on steel and aluminium.
So that's 30% of 2,500 bucks. So I had a trade that went, and it was literally for like 2 minutes. That's $750. I had a trade that went red more than 750 bucks. Nice, Eric. That's a massive day. Good for you. Excellent, Eric. I give you a handshake as well. No, I wouldn't take the the return to value long because I think we're in an overarching downtrend. So, I expect the buyers to flood in and then we just go lower. So it's going to do this, right? On low volatility sell-off days, it's going to go like this. Little bounces along the way. That's right, Eric. The coveted Paul Hollywood handshake. I don't know what the difference is on the new Tradevate prop. Like I already have access to the order flow plus tools, so that's not new to me. So I'm trying to understand what's different aside from having access to order flow plus tools. Is there a TPO? I'll see it.
Fed bids for Forex bills total $298.4 million. Kremlin spokesman Peskov says we're not closer to peace after the Alaska summit. The main factor complicating peace is Europe.
Oh, they have a TPO candle type. Okay. Oh, I see it. There you go. Lovely. I mean, I'd say we're back into the value area range at this point, as long as we stay above 20. It looks like a long. Well, today was an excellent day for me. 3,500, they're almost 4K across the accounts. So, all right, guys, we'll carry this for another 10 minutes. We'll keep watching what we get. Kind Kind of a low volume pullback here.
Today, after reporting third quarter vehicle deliveries at the top of the street estimates. Analysts have long anticipated a strong third quarter as consumers rushed to buy EVs before federal $7,500 tax credit expired September 30th.
Nice, Leon. Good job. Guys, Flux told me that the update on that CVD is coming so shortly. We were going to roll out just the oscillator part and continue to work on all the other features, but they said development said that everything is going to be ready shortly, so we're just going to roll it all out at the same time. It's going to have all these awesome features, so just sit tight. I know everybody's waiting for it. I know. And I've been bugging them like crazy. Trust me. Nice, Jimmy. Yeah, Leon, speed is important, especially with NQ. So we're building a tight distribution right here between 35 and 23, almost a 10-point distribution right here. Right here. So we need to trade above this level here for longs. Otherwise, it's a short. Nice, Allie. Yeah, it's not going to be any additional cost for people who already have the toolkit. It's going to be included. So I'm trying to save you guys money. I know Flux does want to do an upcharge for any new subscribers. It'll be like a $10 add-on. But if you already have the toolkit, it will be included. All right, so it's got to break above 40, right? We want to see above 40 and hold for more upside. This is still resistance here. This is still the distribution we've been trading in. We need to get above this LVN right here. Right here. Right here. Otherwise, it's a short. Oh, nice, Leon. My copy trading has unfortunately been very slow. I've been so focused on a couple of other initiatives. I haven't been trading as much crypto as of late. When I do have time, I certainly will. All right, so here's a key area, 40. You got to trade and hold above it, right, for longs. All right, let's go. Let's see this hold. Long at 42 3/4. Hopefully it doesn't reject. Like a bit of a rejection, flat, small loss. Flip short. Oh, now it's going. All right, a little bit of flipping there, but managed to get it long. 44, some size. See if we get continuation. 50 is a bit of a low volume node. Out, flat. All right, I think that's gonna be my last trade. I gave back like 250 bucks there. I'm good. We have a new point of control down here. Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap up here. I gotta get ready for group coaching at 12:30. Come join us, premium members in the classroom at 12:30. We're gonna be doing some fundamental work and the 4-core setup. So join us in the classroom at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to continue trading, we have an NQ, ES, and Gold trading rooms for private members in the Discord. You can share your mic, share your screens, collaborate with the other VWAP Wave System traders. If you're going to continue trading, manage your risk, stay sharp. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will do a 7 p.m. gold stream and crypto stream tonight. So I'll see you guys there. And then we also have group coaching. Otherwise, we'll be at it tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. For private members, 10 a.m. on the delayed YouTube channel. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks for joining us. Hope you got some great trades. We had a lot of great action today, a lot of great call outs on the stream. And, you know, if you didn't find success today, keep sharpening your edge. Right? One day at a time, we'll get there. Have a great day, guys.